If you've been watching the rise of Trumpism in America, you've been watching a horror show. The rollback of rights, violence against our most vulnerable communities, the kidnapping of our friends and neighbors. And if you've been paying attention, you know this. Justice can't wait. But here's the unfortunate truth. Many Americans are waiting anyway. Waiting until they feel ready to take action, maybe burying their heads in the sand because it's all too much, or most significantly, expecting that someone else, some great leader, is going to step forward and save us all. But the cost of waiting to take action is brutal. It means more families torn apart, more communities under surveillance, more freedoms erased, more of us unsafe and unfree. If you've been asking yourself, what can I do right now to actually stop this? You've landed in the right place. Because here's what I want for you and what I want for all of us. To move from that frozen and stuck state, that place of knowing that you're feeling called to do something but not knowing what to do, to a place where you are leading, building, sustaining the kind of community change that will not just withstand authoritarianism, but potentially topple it. And here inside the Ripple Effect Institute, we've watched this happen with our clients again and again. We've watched everyday people step up to create change and to make a difference in ways that actually move the needle really fast. So before we move further into this topic, I want to ask you to do two quick things. First, hit subscribe, because on this channel, we're all about moving the needle as quickly as possible. And second, if this video really hits you in the chest and you know that the time for waiting is over, I want to invite you to book a free strategy call with our team, where we'll help you to evaluate the next best steps for you to become the justice leader that you are meant to be. So even if we recognize, as the famous quote goes, the fierce urgency of now, many of us feel completely stuck. So let's talk about it. You might feel like you don't know enough, you don't have the right skills, you're just one person and the problems are too big for you to actually make a difference right now. Or maybe you're thinking, I'll wait until the midterm elections, I'll wait until it's safer for me to take action, I'll wait until there's a critical mass and maybe then it won't feel quite so scary. But ordinary people feeling paralyzed in the face of the change that we know we need is exactly what authoritarian regimes rely on. They're counting on our silence and on our hesitation, and more than anything, they're counting on our fear. And the truth is that there's no perfect time to become a part of the solution. There's only right now. So let's talk about why justice can't wait. Every single delay in this era emboldens a regime that is actively taking steps to strip rights away from all of us. And I want you to think about what every delay can cost. In your community, not taking action might mean that your school board is taken over by fascists. It might mean that a concentration camp is built at the end of your street. It might mean that all of your local government is taken over by people who want to collaborate with ICE in kidnapping your neighbors. And then I want you to think about the lessons that we have from history. Jim Crow didn't end because people decided politely to wait their turn to ask for change. Labor rights and unions didn't expand in this country because folks decided to sit it out. Change has come because ordinary people decided that justice could not wait. And just for the record, when I'm talking about justice, I'm not just talking about broad societal ideals. I'm also talking about your neighbor's right to access health care, your best friend's right to live openly as who they are, your own right to raise your kids and your grandkids in a democracy, not a dictatorship. These are the things that are at stake right now, and this is why we cannot wait. So let's talk through some practical steps about how you can take action now. So what do we do with all this urgency? Well, there are a few steps that can guide you in the direction of creating change. First, I want you to identify the skills that you already have. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're an artist, maybe you work in a healing profession, maybe you've been a consultant or a strategist, or maybe you've actually just been a middle manager in a corporate job. I have to tell you, justice movements need all of that. They need people who can teach. They need people who can organize others. They need people who can make sure that the right people are at the right place at the right time. They need creatives. We need justice art. Every single gift matters in this era. All you have to do is identify your skills and commit to putting them to good work. Step 2 is connecting with others. All of us in this era understand that authoritarianism is driving us to feel isolated and separated from one another. One of the things that means is that sometimes when we look at the prospect of creating change, it can feel like we have to do it all alone. But that is a belief that we have to reject out of hand. Authoritarianism wants us isolated, but democracy, it thrives on collective power. And once you start looking around your own community at organizations and people who are making a difference, the colleagues and the compatriots who will walk this journey with you will present themselves in short order. You do not have to do it all alone. And step 3 is to take one tangible step right now, not later. Start the conversation with your neighbors, or draft the plan for how you're going to create change on an issue you care about, or make a call or show up at a meeting for a local organization that is working on an issue that you care about. That action is necessary, and it is necessary immediately, because the difference between collapse and our survival will come down to ordinary people refusing to wait for change. Okay, now I want to talk for a minute about justice as collective survival. Let's go deeper. Because justice work isn't just about ideals, it's actually about survival. When ICE raids are expanding, when trans kids are being targeted to score political points, when healthcare is being stripped from our elders, these aren't abstract policy debates. These are people's lives. And every time someone like you steps into leadership, even on a small scale, to make a difference, you shift the balance of power. Creating a mutual aid network that protects vulnerable neighbors, or offering a workshop that teaches resilience to people in your community, or organizing to protect the kids in your school from organizations that want to eliminate the truth of American history. Well, this is how we chip away at fascism, not by waiting for politicians to come and save us, or for white knight leaders to rise, but by becoming those leaders ourselves. Here's the most important thing that I want you to know today. You don't have to have a huge social media platform. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing, because every major justice movement in history was led by ordinary people who refused to wait any longer for change. That's you. That's me. That's all of us taking action right now in ways that will move the needle. So let me ask you a question. 5 years from now, when you look back at this moment, will you be proud of the actions that you took? Or will you regret having waited for someone else to do it? In this moment in America, perhaps more than ever before, justice can't wait. The future of our country depends on each of us taking action in our own communities and around the country. If you're ready to move from being stuck, if you're ready to lead the change you were born to create, now is the time. And we can help you along the path here at the Ripple Effect Institute. We're a nationwide community of organizers, and we take people who feel stuck, frozen, and overwhelmed, and we teach them how to move, how to build, and how to sustain work that makes a huge difference in the face of this regime. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling that pull in your chest, that knowing that you are here for more, but you're not sure exactly how to make the difference you know you're here to make, I want to invite you to book that free strategy call with us at the link below. On that call, we'll talk about your vision, your skills, and how you can start building the ripple effect only you can create right now. Don't wait to start creating change where you can. Authoritarians aren't waiting, and this regime isn't waiting, and neither should we. Justice is possible in this country if all of us step up and start creating change where we live right now. Now is the time. Let's not waste it. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.